There's this video that I saw the other day, and it really just stuck with me. It was on the Call of Duty YouTube channel. I think some sort of ad. It was a community-made video as an ad for Black Ops 4. And it just baffled me. I'm going to play it now, but if you're a fan of it, then I linked it down in the description. Please go give it a watch and a like. But I really want to talk about it. I was originally just bothered that someone really misused the Big Enough meme. I left a comment. It was kind of mean. It just said it was bad and it was wrong, and it's what happens when corporate America tries to step in and use memes for marketing. But I later learned that it was actually a community-made video, so that was kind of off base. And a lot of people commented saying I was taking it way too seriously, so I actually ended up deleting it. Not necessarily because my ego is fragile as hell, but because I care a lot about memes just in general and using them properly. So I figured I'd use this instead of another avenue just to spew more hatred into the internet. Why not use it as something constructive, a learning experience? In a study I read recently, which wasn't conducted, it was found that a large amount of the population was completely meme illiterate.
Why?
The screaming man from this clip is from a Kieran J. Callanan song called Big Enough. That's why the meme got its name. And the person screaming, his name is Jimmy Barnes. He is a rock legend in his own right. And his inclusion in this song just kind of baffles me. Kieran J. Callanan is sort of a joke pop artist who has a really fantastic line of work. I recommend going through basically everything he's ever done because it's all amazing and hilarious and non sequitur and just out there. But this particular scream from Jimmy Barnes, oh, it just comes out of nowhere. The song itself, Big Enough, is about two cowboys learning that the town they're both in might just be big enough for both of them, which is genius. It is one of the best song ideas I've ever heard of my entire life. And the beginning is quiet, it's somber, it's contemplative. And then that signature whistle just ends up with a camera shooting at the sky and Jimmy Barnes just... If you stretch it, it might have something to do with the song, but basically it's just a no-context tonal shift that just slaps you. And I love it. I love it to death. So this particular part of the song, this clip, makes its way onto the various meme pages of the internet. I believe it started somewhere on Tumblr. But I first saw it on YouTube Haiku, the classic Reddit page, which a lot of the more popular stuff seems to filter through. And it came to the top. I saw it. I saw the various transformations that it went through, and I saw it die, like memes do. They are short of this world. They don't have much lasting power because they're just flashes in the pan. But while these memes are short-lived, they still make sense. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean, there's an internal logic to just about every meme out there. They're called usually formats or something like that, but the meme itself has a sort of structure that it follows, so that when you see an image macro or you see some sort of sound, it has some sort of association, some sort of cyclical expectation payoff kind of thing that happens with comedy. If you take a classic example, the Bad Luck Brian post, we have guy tries his best at something, or just does something nice, or something that doesn't deserve anything of consequence, and then something awful happens to him. Classic. It happens to everybody, I'm sure, because just bad things happen sometimes without your control or due to a misconception. So it's relatable, it's fun, it's good. Another classic example of what I made earlier, the too damn high. You can use it in either direction. It's basically just an exclamation that something is too much. And that's it. It's simple. It's easy. When we look at the big enough meme, there were a couple different directions you could take it, but no matter what, it always made sense. So if you think about the clip itself, there's this woman who's whistling on top of a rock. The camera elevates, so we have an expectation that we're looking up at the sky at something, and then the reveal is Jimmy fucking Barnes screaming at the top of his lungs in one of the most beautiful moments I've seen him in any music video in my entire life. There's the expectation of I'm going to look at something, preferably in the sky, and instead it's going to be Jimmy Barnes. Then there is just replacing Jimmy's scream with anyone's scream anywhere else. If we look at Full Metal Jacket, there's a really funny clip that someone did where they're replacing the screams of the boot camp scene with the Jimmy Barnes scream. And once again, it's fantastic.
Ah! That's a war face! Now let me see your war face!
And this idea of inner logic is what brings me back to the Call of Duty clip. Now I know what you're thinking, but he looked over at the sky and Jimmy Barnes was there. Isn't that funny? Isn't that the whole point of the meme? I argue no. Because there's no reason why we're looking over at the sky. There's no internal logic to it. It's just some dude looking off at the horizon and then bam, there's Jimmy Barnes. But there was no expectation of him to show up. There was no Jeff Goldblum looking up at the sky to see if something was coming to destroy the world.
Aren't you coming, David? No, I gotta see this.
There was no classic Rick and Morty clip where anyone who's seen the show is expecting the sun to come over with that god-awful scream, but instead getting Jimmy Barnes' yell over it.
Oh, hey, look you guys, the sun's rising.
What I'm rambling through is there's no logic. Like, you could have eked by getting through with the clip if, let's say, the dude went over, did that awful nut punch and that terrible sound effect, but then we saw the guy keel over and open his mouth and scream, but it was the Jimmy Barnes scream. That would have at least kind of made sense, but there's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no setup payoff. Now I know what some of you are gonna say. Oh, you're just a Call of Duty hater. You freaking PC Master Race. Bet you like I don't know what games do people hate on PC. But I used to really like Call of Duty. I loved COD 4. I loved Modern Warfare 2. Playing that with my friends. I'm kind of interested in Black Ops 4 for the Battle Royale mode because I like first-person Battle Royale, and PUBG is PUBG, and Fortnite I can't mesh with. So I might even end up picking this up, and just to prove to you that you can use this clip with some sort of COD backdrop, here's a meme I made with Big Enough and the Call of Duty insert.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're in for some shots. Hang on. Check in the next hour.
All U.S. forces be advised. We have a confirmed nuclear threat in our city. Teams are on site and attempting to disarm. I repeat.
But anyway, this is just a rant of something that bothered me. It was posted a week or two ago, and it just got in there. And maybe I'm just unfunny. Maybe I just don't get humor. Maybe my traumatic brain injury here is. Let's just get in on that. Yeah. Maybe that's just preventing me from enjoying anything funny anymore.